Hi, Julian here from PopcornFX. Today I will show you how to import the dust-motes effect we created in the previous tutorials inside this UE4 scene. This is a pretty nice nature scene that I grabbed on the UE4 marketplace. It was a free for the month scene. I grabbed it a couple days ago, and it has both some shadowy areas, some sunny areas, nice grass, nice trees, so pretty nice for some dust motes. So first thing, you'll need to set up the PopcornFX plugin in UE4. So to do that, if you go to the PopcornFX website, in the community documentation section, you will find at the very bottom a plugins category with the UE4 plugin and a plugin installation page that you can follow, and it takes you through all the detailed instructions to install the UE4 plugin. To grab the actual plugin, you will need to log in into our ticket tracking system, and this doesn't use the same credentials as the editor, so unfortunately you'll have to sign in again. This is not ideal, but that's the way it is currently. So once you followed those steps, you should have a PopcornFX menu appearing in the Unreal Editor. I'm not going to go through all that. The documentation should be self-explanatory. So I will open our dust-motes effect, and before bringing it into UE4, there is something here, a small mistake I made in the previous tutorials regarding the fading of the particles based on velocity, and they actually fade too much for the material that's used. So here I'm using additive and I'm wiring the fade value directly into color. This means that it gets broadcasted into RGB and into alpha, and the additive material multiplies the RGB by the alpha, and therefore we get too much fade. So one way we could fix that would be to use the premultiplied-alpha material, or to use a color node with white and to expose the alpha scale pin and to wire in the fader in the alpha and use that as the color. And this will give the proper fade. So I'm going to save that, sorry. And to bring this into UE4, I will do File, Show in Explorer. So this opens the Explorer and selects that file. And here I can just drag and drop that inside the UE4 content browser. So here I see my effect. It will reuse the thumbnail that you captured inside the PopcornFX editor. And I can simply drag and drop the effect inside the UE4 scene, and I have my dust motes running properly. So when the effect is selected on the details panel there, you will see all the attributes that were exposed in the PopcornFX editor, and you can tweak those. So here I'll have to wait till the particles die off because they live for 5 seconds, but now I have less particles. Or I can bump that to have lots of dust motes. You don't have to wait for them to respawn. You can just hit restart and it will restart the effect directly. If you want to trigger that via blueprint, you just uncheck play on load and it won't start at the start of the level. You can see all the options there. Now we're going to expose the color as an attribute so we can control it inside UE4. So here I will drag the color pin of the color node and type attribute, and it will automatically create a color attribute. So here I just have to hit Ctrl S, and I haven't set up the auto reimport in UE4. You can set that up in the settings. It's explained in the documentation. Without the auto reimport setup, I can click reimport here or right click on an asset and do reimport. So I'll just click reimport here, and as I do that, here you now see the color attribute. So I can change that, and because it is at spawn in the effect, I will have to wait for new particles to respawn, so that's not ideal. I will actually change that to be at evolve. Right, hit Ctrl S, reimport, and now when I change the color, I will see the particles update instantly. And you can also, when you double click on the effect here, you can also open the effect preview window, where you can see all the textures and materials used in there, and you can override the material with another one. So all these are the default PopcornFX materials. You can create your own material and set it there. So here, for example, if I use the alpha blend additive material and wait for shaders to compile, here you will see what I was talking about before regarding the additive versus premultiplied alpha materials. Here the fading is wrong because I'm only wiring the fading value in the alpha and not the RGB. And with those premultiplied alpha materials, you have to scale both the RGB and the color to have the proper fading. So here I actually have to revert to what I had before to get the proper behavior, and I will also set that to premultiplied alpha. As I have overridden the material in UE4, this will have no change from now on, but at least it allows me to preview the particles the correct way in there. Right. So now if I reimport, now I have proper fading. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and it was useful. Stay tuned for the next ones, and if you have any questions, as always, don't hesitate to comment in the comment sections below. Thanks for watching.